count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it. Yeah. Count it up, count it up, count it up.
Yo, so on Facebook, there's a bunch of groups on there. A few that I'm just members of, and there is one that I'm actually a moderator on. I'll plug them, AR-15 Nation. So on those websites, or excuse me, on those groups, I posted on there. Let me sit this down so I can talk to you guys. Yeah, right here is good. So I posted on there that I was trying out this NC Star Red Dot, and everybody got an opinion, just like everybody has an asshole. However, on the particular groups that I posted my range report on, I was getting a lot of flack, more so on there than I was on YouTube, strangely enough. Most of the comments I got was, why would you put an NC Star Red Dot on a Zev Glock build? Because this is America. I was doing it just to prove a point to myself. I am a believer that red dots, you can put them on rifles, the pistol AR variants that they have out there. But for an EDC or just something I'm going to have in the house, for me personally, I could find my front sight quicker than I can a dot. And a lot of people say, oh, it's just the optic that you're using. Well, I've tried them all. I did the Trigicon RMRs. I tried the Vortex, the Burris Fast Fire. Most recently, the Nikon, which I like that one because that one is really easy to pick up the dot and the glass isn't tinted at all. But I can still see my front post faster than I can a dot. All that aside, the only thing that I was trying to do with this NC Star is see if it was a good budget red dot that I can put on and train myself to find the dot every time without going out and spending $400, $450 only to find that I can't train myself to find that dot on pistol faster than I can my sights. So far the round count is at 500. I did 100 to zero it, and then I ran 400 through it, 200 through it last weekend, 200 through it yesterday, and I'm pretty impressed with it. So I'm gonna put 200 more through today, maybe 400. I'm gonna go buy 400 rounds. And if I get tired, I'll just do the 2 and then I'll do 2 next weekend. But I'm just gonna keep going to see, 1, how long the battery is lasting, because I heard that was a big thing with this one. 2, if this thing holds 0, and 3, if it gets beat up enough where, it stops flipping up or whatever, just basically just give it a good ring out. I'm not keeping this dot on my pistol, not because it's cheap and it doesn't belong on a Zev pistol slide. I'm not keeping it because I just don't like red dots. I don't like red dots on pistols, say. I like red dots on everything else on my ARs and all that stuff, but on a pistol, I just don't care for it. So what I'm gonna do is, at the end of July, which is this month, should this red dot hold up, I'm gonna try to run 1,000 rounds through it and see if it holds 0 and have no issues. Should this thing hold up, I'm gonna be giving it away to a subscriber. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Hit the notification bell, because at the end of the month, I'm just gonna go through the comments on this post, on this link, and I'll throw it out there at the end of this video or next week's video, range report video, as to what I'm gonna be looking for to get this red dot. So I'm gonna go grab some ammunition, head to the range, and come back and give you my thoughts on today's range. All right, here we go. It's gonna be a clean target. It's gonna take it out to 7 yards and then go from there. So here's the target. flyers on there, nervous. We're going to camera shoot this thing. One second. Run a few more. Same spot on the boxes. I don't know if that was for $80. All right. So I just got back from the range and I was pretty impressed. An unbiased opinion about this red dot. And I mean, you've seen the videos. That has been, and today I went through another bucket and a half. And when I'll show you what I'm talking about. So these are what I shoot, right? And so I went out there with 2 buckets of these. There is 350 rounds in here. And I went through 1 bucket and I got a half of a bucket here. And going through that many rounds and not really having any issues, but one. And this is a caveat to this. So when I went to the gun range, let's do a safety check for people here. It's empty, no magazine, right? When I went to the safety, or to the gun range, no, you can see that thing doesn't move. I'm sorry, squirrel syndrome. But when I went to the range the other day, yesterday, I had them put, actually it's middle of last week, I had them put suppressor height sights on here for me. These are the Trigicon sights. I really like them. The problem I had with the other sights, of course, sights, they were stock, they were plastic, so they were low. And I found myself using the sights on the red dot more than the sights that were on the actual pistol. So what I noticed the other day is that when the guy installed the front sight, he didn't Loctite it. So as I was shooting it, it was shaking loose. And so I just took it off, finished my shooting session, and then took it back to him. He Loctite it, put it on. So today, what happened was, from him at the end of yesterday's session, Loctiting it, putting it on, when I went there today, it was shooting a little bit to the left and down. And so I was like, man, why did it move? You know, and I looked at the set screws and they were still set in place where I left them. So I got to thinking, and so what I did was I loosened up those 2 screws right there on the top. And as you loosen it, there's a little play back and forth. So I can loosen these up and slide this back and forth, and it will move ever so slightly forward and back, and you can also cant it just a tiny bit. But you know, small changes here means big changes there. There's a little ledge inside of here. You can't see it, but there's a ledge in there. I pushed it against the ledge on the slide, tightened it down, took a couple more shots, and they were just below where I was aiming, just below and to the left. So I had to make a little bit of adjustment today. So after making that adjustment it was spot on where I was aiming it at. I actually took some rapid fire shots today to try and get better. I'm sorry if I'm looking this way and this way. I'm looking at my timer and then looking back at the viewfinder. But anyways, I took some rapid fire shots, just making sure that I was keeping track of the dot where it was. And I don't have anything bad to say about this other than, yes, if you move this, if you take it off, and you have to take it off to replace the battery, you need to make sure that when you put it back on, you push it all the way up against that ledge as hard as you can, tighten it down, and then go take a couple of shots. It'll probably be off just a touch. And I think that's where some people are saying they're losing zero, is because the battery is underneath. It would be better if they found out a way. There's a lot of space right there. I know that the new the Nikon Spur has a battery compartment right on top, and the way that they were able to do that in such a small space is they went with a smaller battery. Instead of a 2032, they went with a 1632, and that allowed them to put a battery there. Maybe NC Star can better their reputation for losing zero and stuff like that if they just fix the stupid little things like battery location. You have to remove this and put in a new battery and put it back. And when you don't have tolerances, like NC Star doesn't have tolerances, to where that thing, that slide, or that the optic can move back and forth in the grooves there, then yeah, you probably want to change that so that when somebody put this on, they don't have to move it anymore. And you can put a battery right in the top there, maybe a 1632. It's a good idea. So that's the only con that I have. Besides, the other two cons are no brightness adjustment, and then also the fact that the adjustments aren't tactile. They're just, you can just move them really loosely. So this is probably going to be a long video. I apologize. You saw the shooting video of me at the range. I was just going back and forth. The video that you saw was just strictly this gun, but what I was doing was going back and forth between this and this pistol. This one is my EDC. It's the one I carry every day. And the reason why I was going back and forth is because I'm so used to those sights. Bright front sight. I can pick that up really super fast, and so I can shoot faster with this one than I can this one with a dot up. So yeah, I don't know. For me, I just prefer to not have optic on a pistol, but like I said, I got 319, so I guess I'll put an optic on this one. It won't be this one. So what everybody's been, some of the people that my new subscribers that I just subscribed today, what I'm going to do, they probably subscribe because they're greedy and they want something. I told them I was going to give this away. So at the end of July, I'm going to give this away to one subscriber, and the way that you get it is just be a subscriber and just tell me something about something maybe you picked up from some of these videos, something that I've said or something that I've posted that was helpful to you. And that isn't going to be the main reason why you get it. That's just so I could just see if these videos are helpful, or if I should continue doing them. But what I'm going to do is use a randomizer, and I'm going to choose from the people who leave comments in this video here. I'm going to choose somebody to win this. I don't know, guys. For $80, I think it's a good deal. I mean, I'm going to continue doing range reports on this the rest of the month. I don't have anything other than what I've said so far to say bad about this. You've seen the footage, the shooting footage. It's actually pretty decent. So anyways, I guess I'll see you guys on the next video. Have fun today. Deuces. Oh, have a happy 4th of July, everybody.